What's up, Bulls Nation? It's the Bloody Horns podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Let's get into it, man. So, disappointing loss last night. It's the third straight game that the Bulls came out of halftime and got the shit kicked out of them. You know, against the Celtics, they were down, like 2 going into halftime? End of that third quarter, they're down a pretty sizable margin. Against the Pelicans, they were up, I think, 10 at halftime of that game. And then in the third quarter, the Pelicans came roaring back, made it a game. Last night, they were up 10 against the Pistons. They end up losing by 10. So this is the third straight game. All 3 games post-All-Star break. The Bulls have come off a long rest. Nobody played during the All-Star break. So I don't want to hear anybody using fatigue as an excuse for the Bulls here. I get it. It's late in the season. We're relying too much on DeMar DeRozan. We're relying too much on Coby White. But you just had a week off. You should have pretty fresh legs at this point. I put the blame squarely on Billy Donovan. I've been saying for years now that he is not a leader. He is not a motivator of men. He does not know how to get these guys ready to play. A common theme in Bulls games is they come out of the gates in the first quarter slow. They come out of the gates in the third quarter slow. So that means his pregame speeches, which are meant to rally you up, get you ready to go, get you ready to attack, they're not landing. His halftime speeches, whether we're down a bunch or we're up by a bunch, they're supposed to rally you. They're supposed to reinforce what you're doing right, kind of correct what you're doing wrong, make some adjustments on the fly. Same thing, bring that fight out of you, bring that dog out of you. The Bulls never come out of halftime with that dog in them. They never come out of halftime ready to fight. They do their best work in the second and the fourth quarter, and I put that squarely on that being the players motivating themselves. The times that we see Billy Donovan have time, pregame, halftime, where he has time to really talk to these guys, really motivate them, those are the times when they come out the least ready to play. So Billy Donovan, he's got to be sent packing. Embarrassing loss last night. The Bulls have no margin for error at this point, but they're going to continue to keep losing games like that because they don't have a leader behind them. So tonight's game is going to be tough. The Cavs might be the toughest matchup in the league for the Chicago Bulls. For whatever reason, the Bulls have no answers for the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is going to be the 4th game that we've played them. My key number 1, Nikola Vucevic. I need you to be competitive against Jarrett Allen tonight, man. Jarrett Allen has owned Nikola Vucevic all season long. He's averaging 14 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He's shooting 70% against the Chicago Bulls this year. His plus minus in the minutes he's played is an insane plus 47. So Jarrett Allen has owned the Chicago Bulls. I need Nikola Vucevic to do something. People are still hyping up Nikola Vucevic. They said he played good last night. Guys, he got 25 points. He took 23 shots. That's not good production. That's not good efficiency. I don't care if he shot 52% from the field. If you shoot 23 times, you should be looking at a 40 bomb. You should at least be at 35 points. It's ridiculous to get 23 shots and only give us 25 points. So I need more out of Nikola Vucevic. I don't know why he's shooting so much lately. The 3 games out of All-Star break, he's had 18 shots, 19 shots, 23 shots. That's insane. That's averaging 21 shots a game. We can't keep doing that at that clip. That's not a sustainable clip. It's obviously not a recipe for success because it hasn't been working. So I need Nikola Vucevic to be competitive tonight. I need him to try to hold Jarrett Allen, at least hold him on the glass, man. Don't let Jarrett Allen get more than 5 offensive rebounds. So that's key number 1. Key number 2 is the Donovan Mitchell, Coby White matchup. Coby White, he's looking rough lately, guys, and I don't have any excuses for Coby. I'm not going to blame fatigue. He is playing a lot of minutes. I'm not going to blame a shooting slump by any means. What I'm going to say is he's now number 1 on the scouting report for other teams. It's always been DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine or even to a lesser extent Nikola Vucevic. But now when teams are game planning for Coby White is number 1 on that scouting report. So all their defense is tied into shutting Coby White down. And he hasn't really adjusted in these 3 games out of All-Star break. So tonight, he needs to keep pace with Donovan Mitchell. This is a litmus test for him. Donovan Mitchell is one of the best guards in the NBA for my money. I go SGA, then I go Don, then I'd probably go Luka, and then Book. So I hold Donovan Mitchell in high regard. He always torches the Bulls. He had that 70-piece against us last year. So it's a litmus test for Coby. It's a chance for him to get his lick back and come out with a big game here. People are going to be paying attention to this game. The Cavs have been getting a lot more national attention since they turned their season around. So I need Coby to be competitive with Donovan Mitchell tonight. Key number 3, we got to run their shooters off the line, man. Did you guys see what Max Strus did last night? Those 4 shots at the end of the game to win the game against the Mavericks. He's a dangerous shooter. He's torched the Bulls dating back to Miami. We need to run their 3-point shooters off the line. Key number 4, we got to push the pace. Both teams are coming off back-to-backs here. So there's no excuse for the Bulls, for the Cavs to push the pace harder than the Bulls do. The Bulls need to get out. They need to run. Ayo Dosunmu needs to get downhill, needs to finish at the rim. Alex Caruso needs to do what he was doing in that first half, getting steals, finishing on the break, getting fast break points. The Bulls are at their best when they're out and running. They're at their worst when it's a slow, plodding, methodical offense. So we need to get out. We need to crash those boards. We need to crash those boards. We need to play the passing lanes. We need to get out in the break. And key number 5, we need at least 20 minutes out of Andre Drummond. We saw last night they finally went back to the double big lineup, and it was working. Some of their best ball was played with both bigs in the game. Andre Drummond, he had a little bit of a revenge game against the Pistons last night. Tonight, it's another former team in the Cavs. Drummond matches up much better with Jared Allen than Nikola Vucevic does. And when the Cavs throw that double big lineup, that Jared Allen, Evan Mobley lineup, Drummond can guard either of them. So we need to see at least 20 minutes out of Drummond, preferably 30. So it's going to be a tough game tonight. Back-to-back, the Bulls have not been good against the Cavs. I don't really have hope for this game, but I'll be tuned in. You know, we're glutton for punishment over here. So tip-off's at 7 o'clock tonight. If you guys aren't following on social media, make sure you do. At Horns Bloody, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the handles. If you haven't checked out the new podcast, it's taking an athletic trainer's perspective at the Bulls' injury concerns the last 3 years. So check that out. Like I said, tip-off 7 o'clock. Let's go Bulls.